Welcome to my online class. How are you everyone? I think you all are fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. I am also fine. This is Hasina Islam, lecturer, Department of English, Tongi Government College, Gazipur. This lecture is for the students of Masters second year. This is the second lecture for the students of Masters second year, and my today's topic is The American Scholar by Ralph Waldo Emerson. In my previous lecture, I have given you some important terms and also the summary of this essay. Today, I am going to discuss on some important thing from this essay. First of all, I would like to discuss on the subject matter of the American Scholar. That is, what is the subject matter? The subject of the lecture is the role of the American intellectual as distinct from the European intellectual. That is, here the author, the writer, the essayist think that the American intellectuals are need to be different from the European intellectual. Emerson calls for an intellectualism that is engaged, optimistic, and forward-thinking. He believes that American scholars have been overly dependent on their European forebears and that they need to forge a role of their own. He warns against the sluggard intellects that are a result of over-specialization and notes that a man is thus metamorphosed into a thing rather than a full man. That's why he wants to make some intellectual who will play the American role, who will not copy the European. So this is the subject matter. Then he tells about the role of the American scholar, and regarding the role of the American scholar, he says about the connection of nature, books, and action. Emerson views the role of the American intellectual is regarded to nature, books, and action. In the first section, Emerson examines the intellectual's relation to nature. He discusses the process by which scholars learn how to classify the natural world and to see the laws and systems behind the apparent disorderness of nature. That is, here he discusses the role of nature, actually the relation to nature. He thinks that to the young mind, everything is individual, stands by itself, by and by. That is, here he clears the relation to nature. Then he says about the relation to books. In the second section, Emerson discusses what he sees as the American intellectual's ideal relation to books and warns against an overly reverential and backwards looking approach to literature. That is, of course, an American intellectual have to avoid the backward approach. He then mentions Cicero, Locke, and Bacon. He thinks in whole colleges and fields of study being devoted to the study of these books is like a grave mischief, because such institutions can breed timid and confusions brand of intellectual, and instead calls for a less fearful approach to both writing and reading. He thinks that as an American scholar should not follow only the old writers, because he need to search for the new knowledge. And he also says that which is appropriate for the past it will not be appropriate for the present. That's why old books are not to be followed all the time. Then Emerson says about the duties of an American scholar. What should be the duties of an American scholar? First and most important duty is to develop unflinching self-trust. That is, an American scholar or an intellectual man should develop self-trust and a mind that will be respiratory of wisdom for other people. That is, an intellectual will offer his wisdom for other people. This is a difficult task because the scholar must endure poverty, hardship, solitude, and other privations while following the path of knowledge. That is, to follow the path of knowledge is not so easy. So, my dear learners, I am going to give you some questions with answer. You will try to memorize these answers, and I think these questions and answers will be helpful for you. First of all, what is the central theme of Ralph Waldo Emerson's essay, The American Scholar? I have given a short answer here, and of course you can add something more with this answer. Then, what is the relevance of this? The American Scholar quote, "Books are the best of things, well used, abused among." So, these lines taken from the American Scholar, you have to explain this line. Then, what are the main duties of the American Scholar that Emerson mentioned in the speech? How does Ralph Waldo Emerson's The American Scholar relate to education today? Then, what are the scholar's duties and how does he cope with them according to Emerson in The American Scholar? So, this is for today. My dear students, of course, you will practice at home and please keep in touch with your studies. Until then, Allah Hafiz. Have a nice day.